Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fantasy Worldbuilding. I'm Alda, and in today's episode, I want to get further along in roots. Specifically, I want to make the tools. That's the next major thing I think that I want to do in that mod, and I've broken numerous tools lately, and I think, well, at least I hope that those are a little bit better than the bronze, or at least comparable. But before we get to that, the first thing I want to show you is this. This guy showed up one night while I was working, and he just kind of stood up here. I kept my distance, had a giant hammer thing, and I wasn't gonna mess with it. And, come morning, he was just frozen. If you watched carefully, you could see a red number and then a green number. I think it's regenerating from any damage I inflict. Yeah, there. So, it's just here, I guess. Stone troll statue, I guess. I don't even know what mod that's from, to be honest. And yeah, it's more than a couple of times, even though I've known it was there, it's out of the corner of my eye, made me jump. The next thing I want to discuss is a change in recipes that I've made. 2 recipes specifically for these. This mod is the armor underwear, and it lets you make these, which are liners that you add to armor that give them heating or cooling properties. And heating and cooling is something that, specifically, the cooling is something that I really am wanting, because I'm trying to make this river, and it is very difficult, because either I have to be out here at night when it's not quite as hot, which is dangerous, or I have to basically do a bit of work and then run back over to there because of the temperature. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. I'll talk about this in a second. The change in recipe I made was to these 2. The actual materials for the liners. Now, before, the recipe was this, and then the heating goo for the warming liners. And I have a couple of problems with these recipes. Packed ice, slime, magma blocks. Now, for a different mod pack, or if you're basically just in vanilla, you know, using this mod and not otherwise heavily modded, these recipes are probably fine. But the problem I have is, let's take the cooling, for example. This requires packed ice, which you can make using ice chunks. Ice chunks, we actually have some, are gotten by breaking ice. Now that's all well and good if you have basically vanilla terrain generation. You know? Like in vanilla, it's not typically that much of a journey to get from somewhere to a place with ice. Unless you're using much larger biomes, in which case, well, even then, it's not going to be as long as it is for this setup that I have here. You've seen the Amidst map. I'll put it up again. But that is a huge distance between the hot biomes and anywhere where you would get ice. I don't particularly like that. Because basically, in order to survive long-term in a hot biome, you need to go to a cold biome. Which, with this setup, is just not feasible. Not really a reasonable thing to expect people to do, if you know what I mean. It also doesn't really make sense lore-wise, at least for me. I mean, packed ice in slime? What? I guess that'd be cooling, but if you're in a hot biome, or say, in the Nether, where you have to go to get magma blocks, I feel like ice would just melt, wouldn't it? I mean, I know game mechanic-wise, packed ice doesn't melt, but still. And then for this, I mean, again, in order to be able to live in a cold biome, you would have to go to the Nether, which is fairly extreme. Now, because of that, basically, the way I've changed the recipes is to make it to where they're something that you can get in the biome where it's going to be relevant. Oh, he spawned really close. So for the warming liners, we've got wool and beeswax, wax, tallow, something, one of those, and then water. The idea being that you're sort of taking an amount of wool, a fairly large amount of wool, and sort of condensing it down, and then the wax would be waterproofing and just general weatherproofing. I mean, wool has naturally occurring lanolin, which is a waxy sort of substance. So I feel like this sort of thing makes sense. You're taking a fairly large quantity of wool, condensing it down to make it thicker, and then that's what you use for the cooling or the warming liners. So just generally, it gives you a liner that would be fairly thick, warm wool. Or, you know, I mean, wool and string and silk and plant fibers even are all interchangeable in this, you know, like plant fibers, string, linen, silk. It's interchangeable, and in real life those are really not interchangeable, but I'm not going to go through the ridiculous amount of effort necessary to try and separate them, and I don't feel like trying to do that would be adding anything meaningful. And then, with the cooling liner, I've gone a sort of different direction. I'm not too sure about this, but I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I haven't been able to come up with anything else that I feel like would work for the purpose. Because, basically, I mean, there kind of isn't really a cooling cloth, you know? Doesn't quite make sense. But the idea I've gone with here is basically you're taking wool and sort of filling it out with lighter materials, you know? Something like these are kind of... See, it's this sort of thing. It'd be kind of lighter and fluffier. So kind of more... Well, basically, the idea would be a lighter, breezier material. And then I've I've gone with ash. And the reason I've gone with ash is, frankly, I feel like the recipes need to be kind of balanced, more or less balanced. And I feel like ash, it's kind of, I mean, it's carbon, and maybe the idea is that it helps, I don't know, kind of pull heat away from the body, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, it's iffy. It's really iffy, but I don't really have a better idea. Like I say, I don't want it to be, like, heavily unbalanced, the two different recipes. I want it to be more or less an equal amount of material for each one-ish. I mean, it's still not quite, but it's closer than just a single thing of wool for one and then 3 for the other. And this is... I removed the original recipe for this one, and I forgot for the cooling one. That's why that's still there. Now, one thing to note about armor liners is it also requires armor to line, which that also is something that kind of bothers me about not this mod, but the actual simple difficulty mod. The cooling armor is ice, and then the warming armor is wool. Now, this kind of runs into a similar problem. In order to be cool, you need to go to a cold biome, but in order to be warm, you just need to get wool from anywhere, which you can just get anywhere. So it's kind of... I don't particularly like the ice. Like, just random chunks of ice that you turn into armor. That doesn't work for me. And so that's why I've changed those recipes. If anybody has any better ideas for the cooling liners, please let me know, because I'm very iffy about that recipe. It's a little questionable, I'm not gonna lie. But as I was saying about armor, I'm hoping that once we get the tools built, these living tools, I'm hoping that that will unlock the armors. And then we can make that armor. If not, the other two options for armor are leather, which that's gonna disappear quick, or ceramic armor. Now, this kind of bothers me, because there's this recipe, and then there are these, which you fire these into ceramic plates, and then the plates are used to make the armor as well. So you've got a recipe that is 1 clay in each spot, and you've got a recipe that's 2 clay in each spot, and both of these recipes are added by the same mod. So I'm not really sure about that. It seems a little... I feel like this is going to be something that I'm going to want to change. But I'm not sure which to go with, because, quite simply, I don't know how this armor compares to, like, leather. It has the same armor value, but I don't know what the durability is. So I don't want to go changing those recipes until I know more about the armor. And I might just skip it if we can do the roots armor. At least for now. So, without further ado, I did say I was going to discuss that. This is part of the recipe, or one of the recipes I made for the cooling liner. Also, these things, I was doing a test to see just what it's capable of. And as you can clearly see, it does not grow anything on coarse dirt. It does not grow anything on dirt, which I feel is significant for the lore of this area. I'm gonna go more in detail about how I plan to integrate the roots technology into this area in next episode, I think. Also, this is just, I was experimenting with the, these coagulated plant ball. See, use on moss stone for vines. I was hoping to get, like, Minecraft vines, and, a lot of cool looking vines, but no Minecraft vines. I don't know if I'm just getting unlucky or it just doesn't do that. And you can see, just in the amount of time I've been stood here talking, I'm already starting to overheat. So I cannot effectively... Yeah, there's a zombie right under here. I cannot effectively work on the river or anything up around over here because it's just too hot. I don't struggle with the cold. It's really the heat. Should I go down there and try and see if I can find that zombie? It's like right there. I cannot. It's got 6 durability. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get some of these tools made. Oh, this requires silver. Silver or gold. So we have a smidgen of gold here. This is the only silver we've got, I'm fairly sure. So, do we use the gold to make the tools? It would be 5 total. Is there any particular reason to save this gold? I feel like not really. I think that's probably a good use of it. There is also another change I've made to the recipes. This mod, no tree punching, actually goes through and gets rid of the stone and wood tool recipes. Or at least it does by default. However, because the roots and I think some other mods actually require the wood tools, I have added recipes like this. Now, the reason I didn't just re-add the normal Minecraft recipes is because, well, it kind of bypasses the flint stuff. And I'm not a huge fan of using wood tools to begin with. It seems a little, I don't know, weird to me. Like, how do you have a wood axe that chops down wood? That doesn't make sense. And because we're using no tree punching for the flint tools, it makes a lot more sense, to me at least, to at the very least require going through these tools to get to these tools. And I thought of doing it in a bunch of other different sorts of ways, but in the end it kind of just ended up making more sense to just require it in the recipe like this. I don't know, I might still change that one, but I feel like it works more or less anyway, at least for now. So, let's go ahead. Does it actually require a specific location? Or can you just... Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, I was putting it in automatically. Or putting it in specifically the slot that it was showing, but I guess it doesn't require that. Where's me knife? Nice. Looks like it's the same mining level. How's the durability? Oh. Ah. It's repairing too fast for me to see. I mean, I'd say the durability is pretty good if I can't even see it. I'm not too sure how I feel about that chime. It doesn't feel like it goes with the theme. Like, why is there just a random chime out of nowhere? Seems kind of odd. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being overly picky. Slightly faster, but the same attack damage as the mace. So, probably not as good as some of the other Spartan weapons. Still. Works for me. Breaks plants in a large radius. How large we talking? Whoa! That was large. Oh, but it digs up that sort of stuff. Less good. Still, does it hoe in a large area? No. And I'm already overheating, just being over there for just a second. Are you kidding? Oh, I can see the 192. So it's definitely lower durability than the bronze, but it's also self-repairing, so, you know, bit of a trade-off. It's looking like it didn't unlock armor just yet. What do you suppose is going to be the next step? Let's actually take a look in here. There's this, and there's this. That requires iron. That requires iron, leather, amethyst. That's fey leather, not just leather. Runic shears. Yeah, I bet that. And it's looking like this flower. So that's probably how to get there. What about this? Does this require anything funky? Diamond. It's looking like the wildwood is tougher armor. The sylvan is potentially a lower tier. Okay. That is slightly unfortunate. I was hoping to just be able to fairly quickly get into this armor, but let's take a look-see. What does it require for these? Redstone. Okay. So we're definitely going to have to go mining some more. That zombie sounds like he's got armor on. I'm gonna go see if I can find it. I'm gonna go ahead and use up this bronze pick too. It sounded like he was just over here. Hello? There are other ways to get down there, but I'm just gonna go direct. First rule of going into a dangerous situation. Be able to get back out again. Yep, I've definitely been down here. Oh, that looks like that might be where that water comes out. Up near the river. Where we killed that one zombie just a minute ago. Yeah, that's looking like that's where that is. That's cool. Doesn't help us find the zombie, though. There you are. In amongst this mess. Any armor? Nope. Okie dokie. Cleared a little bit more of the cave, lit some more up. Now, this right here is actually one of the reasons that I kind of don't want to use the leather for armor. It's for this mod. It's the camping mod, and it has a backpack slot, which would be really helpful. And I think that's one of the things I want to use that leather on, rather than armor. So, because of that, I think I'm going to use the remainder of this clay to make a set of armor. Now, part of the reason for this is actually because what I want to do is get together a suit of armor, get some cooling liners on it, and then go follow that river and get more clay. Because I actually did try and follow it along a fair ways, and I could not get very far. Oh, is that what it is? It won't let you fire it. Oh, and it won't let you put it on the ground for a kiln. It just puts it on you. Wait a minute, it has armor even when unfired? Surely it only has a small amount of durability, right? That must be it. But if we can't fire it, then that recipe is... Maybe that's what it's intended to as. Just a very, very basic layer of armor. Okay, well, let's just do a chest plate and see how it goes. This is actually something else that we're gonna want to build somewhere in the town, village, city thing, is a place where they fire stuff. I don't know if that's something you'd want to do indoors, or if it'd be like a just designated spot outdoors somewhere. By the way, something just occurred to me. This actually also has arrows. That's not too bad. We actually have a couple of bows that we've gotten off of skeletons, but not very many arrows. And the reason I would want them is because we've had several thunderstorms, and there are skeleton horses out there somewhere. The ones that were nearby all seem to have moved off, but last time I was up over that way, there were several of them on the mountainside just chilling. And that's not something that I'm currently capable of dealing with. 4 skeleton riders? No. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but something in these mods makes it to where the skeletons fire faster. So if you end up fighting even just 2 skeletons, I've been repeatedly just destroyed by. So if it's that many skeleton riders on horses, like, I don't think there's any possible way I can do anything against that. But if we had a few arrows... Oh, it just automatically makes as many as it can. That's good to know, but not actually what I wanted. Oh well. Guess we've got arrows now. But yeah, if we've got arrows and can hit them from afar, maybe, just maybe. But, I mean, it'll be good to just have a ranged weapon on me anyway, just generally. Let's see, we've got this, which is unbreaking, and this, which is power and punch. I'm gonna hold on to this. Can we recover it? Yes, indeed. Cool. That'll be nice to have. And since we do have this, let's just take a look over here and see if we see any. I did actually trigger one of them just over here. I don't know what happened to them. I ran away. And they just barely managed to not notice me, I guess. Uh-huh. Yep. There's one there. I'm only noticing the one, but there were definitely more about over here. last time I was over here. It would be nice to have a horse for, like, a mount. But, should we try it? I feel like it's a bad idea. You know what? I'm gonna try it, but let me put some stuff down first. By the way, did I show you the white sand box? Yeah, that ended quite a few shovels. Ah, there's another one there. And there's this one. Okay, I think the strategy is going to be trigger it, and then get behind this tree and back up, retreat back up that slope. Yeah? How close do you gotta be? Hello? Hello? Oh. Okay. Well, that was highly anticlimactic. Huh. Ow. Well then. In that case, as it happens, we have one of these. By the way, I haven't really mentioned anything, but I am making progress on houses and things and getting this further along, but there's not a whole lot to show at the moment, so that's why I haven't. But it's not super duper fast, but hey, I'll take it. Doesn't have a whole lot of health. Well, now I'm curious, is that other horse also not a trap? Because I was under the impression that the skeletons didn't despawn, but I was also under the impression that the traps don't despawn. Hello? Really? All three of you? Oh, yeah, where... You see on the top right corner? That's where that dragon is. I don't actually see it. I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's not there? Is it out hunting? Nothing's on fire that I can see. Either way, let's go ahead and not be here. I guess the skeletons either despawned or died. I didn't know they could do either. Huh. Well, not gonna complain. That's actually one thing I should be considering when doing this place is, can horses fit? Like, yeah, that works fairly well. But that's a little, yeah, that's a little too much. I think the lower roads, these ones on this level, should be wider for the passage of horses. That's actually a good point. Maybe I should actually widen this whole thing, bring this out some. That was highly anticlimactic, but you know what? I'll take it, considering how badly it could potentially have gone. Like, leads. In this version, leads aren't super stable, but... Oop. Nope. No. What? Really? Me? Are you serious? Okay, well then. I guess we're... Okay, can just about jump 2, so that should work. What? Okay, I guess that's just gonna have to be there for now. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know why it won't let me lead it. I assume it must be Animania that's doing that. I assume. I don't know what else would be changing that. But I guess now we've got leads. Can we lead these things? Yes. That's just weird. Although, speaking of the silkworms, something I did find out when experimenting with this stuff is that apparently this stuff so we can actually finally get rid of this and move these guys. Yeah. I mean, we can move them right now, but I don't actually have anywhere to put them at the moment. So if you could all just kind of line up over here, that'd be great. Can I feed you guys? Oh, they've actually been injured. I forgot they've been in the path of a creeper a couple of times. Still, it's good to get them kind of moved around a bit. And I think what I want to do is make some kind of pen of some sort for them in this town. But anyway, I'm going to keep working on getting this armor going and getting some liners for it. And I will be back with you when I've gotten that done. Hi. Can you not? Nope, he can. Oh no, lag. That right there is another reason to have a bow. Okay, we've doubled it up for 2 liners on each one. Let's take a look. Alright, so I just got finished doing a bit of running through the desert, both without and with, and they definitely have an effect, but 4 degrees is still just not quite enough. The next step is going to be triple liners, and then try to get more pieces of armor, I guess. But either way, I think just working in the desert is gonna be a pain. At least for now. But either way, I think that's about gonna do it for this episode. We got a horse, apparently. We got some living tools, which are definitely going to be helpful for continuing digging this out, and back, and further. Between episodes, I think, first of all, I'm going to go caving, and I'm going to see about getting iron and especially redstone. There are a couple of specific places where we're going to want redstone in just small amounts. So I hope to get at least a little bit. Gonna continue working on all of this. I do hope with this that I'm gonna be able to continue the river. Also, and I'm very glad we got the horse because of this, I'm going to move this out, this wall. I do like the idea of having this road at this level be horse and cart accessible. So I'm going to move this out that way. Probably, let's see. I think actually maybe double the current width. And this horse is actually also great for helping me show you this. Because I was taking a look at this area earlier, and you see there's the line of the river right there. It's gonna come along over here and then go that way, something like that. This area out here, as you can see, is quite a ways from that line of the mountain. And that right there is where the houses are going to be. So there's going to be quite a bit of area out here that is neither farmland, which will be more down here. I'm going to pull this back a bit. But then there's going to be this area up here, and I think this is going to be where we're going to have things like charcoal pits, maybe spaces for the silkworms, outdoor pit kilns, things like that. I think would be a good thing to have out here. And then like animal grazing areas where the crops will be down a level, the animals will be up one level, so they'll be separated, but both should have plenty of room, I think, is how that's going to be. And that level right there, I think, is going to be a road following along, like, there will be the river, crops, cropland, farmland, level there, and then a road one level up, and I think that will be horse accessible, and I think either that level or one level up will be where the animals are. Oh, I should make a lance. But anyway, I'm going to get working on all of that, and I will hope to see you next episode. Hopefully we can get moving a little further on roots if I found some redstone, and if not, well, I did say last episode that this episode I wanted to decorate some of the houses, and we didn't get around to that. So if I don't find any redstone between episodes, then maybe we can do that. There are still quite a few materials I'd like to get together for that, but I think we can probably make something interesting at least. But anyway, that's gonna do it. Hope to see you again in next episode. And until then, thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good day. Farewell.